You take this pause, it's unnoticeable to your partner while giving yourself a moment to think. What's going on? What do I want to say next, if anything? Having your third eye open lets you be less reactive and to choose your words wisely. Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Talk Love with Carol show. Today, our topic is opening your third eye, your secret sauce. And this is episode 46, by the way. So today, I'm going to tell you what I mean by the third eye, in case that's not a familiar idea. And then I'm going to tell you the benefits of the third eye. I'm going to tell you some things that can happen when you don't open your third eye, and I'm going to tell you how to get that activated. Sound good? I'm Dr. Carol Henry. I'm a psychologist and a relationship coach, and I have an online business called Dr. Carol J. Henry Coaching. And I do these talks so that I can share some of the things I've learned over the years. I've been working with couples for over 30 years, and I've just got a lot of things I want to share. So that's it. Let's get going. So first, what is the third eye? And when I picture it right here, like where a cyclops eye would be. So what it really is the integration of our senses, the part of our brain that's our feeling part, the amygdala, where all our feelings are housed, and the fight, flight, or freeze reaction is there. And the front part of our brain, which is our wisdom part, and our body. So the integration of our body and those two parts of our brain. And when they come together and when you use them properly, it's like you have this magic thing. It can feel like magic. So let's say you're in a situation. If you have all of those things integrated, if another way of putting it is, if your third eye is open, you'll be in that situation. You'll be aware of everything you feel, you see, you hear, so all your senses, while at the same time you're watching yourself. You're aware of all those things and not just being all those things. And the benefits of that are huge. It allows you to take this momentary pause, which is unnoticeable. I mean, it's going to take me a while to explain it, but it doesn't take this long to do it. Thank heavens, right? So you take this pause. It's unnoticeable to your partner while giving yourself a moment to think. What's going on? What do I want to say next, if anything? It lets you be less reactive. You know how in a disagreement, if that's the situation, which is what the situation we're going to talk about. So you're in this disagreement, and it's human nature. We get activated, escalated, frustrated, whatever you want to call it. And having your third eye open lets you be less reactive and to choose your words wisely. So it lets you access that wise part of your brain, as I referenced before, not just the emotional part. You reduce the intensity while still making your points, while listening carefully and managing your emotions. You can broaden your perspective. Do any of these things sound interesting, valuable, magical? So listening carefully, making your own points, managing your emotions, broadening your perspective, I think they are pretty amazing things to be able to do. So here's what happens when you don't use your third eye. I'm going to make an analogy between not having your third eye open and throwing up. Okay. When somebody vomits because their stomach hurts, and any of you that have kids probably have experienced this more than once, or maybe yourself, you can vomit all over somebody, not on purpose, but by mistake. So the person throwing up feels better as soon as they do it. Oh, what a relief. My stomach doesn't hurt anymore. But now think of the other person. No, they don't feel better. Now they've got it all over them. And it takes hours and hours to clean up for the most part. I'm thinking of one time when I was wearing it. My son I think it was my son, had just gotten sick. And there was the carpet, there was the clothing, there was the towels, there was the shower that needed to be taken and getting him all ready. I mean, it was a long time. Now, think about vomiting out words during an argument, and that's the analogy I'm making. Sometimes you can feel good during it, like, yeah, I got that off my chest. But it resides on the other person for way more than hours, sometimes for a lifetime, depending on what you said. So that's the kind of thing that I want to help you avoid, because your partner is now wounded. It really isn't just throw up. It went into their heart and their brain, and it doesn't heal for a long, long time, if ever. You spoke in reactivity, but it lasts a lifetime. Oftentimes, the person who speaks the words feels a lot better, and they don't even think about it, what they said, but the other person does. So if you love your partner, you don't want this. Even if you're angry at the time and you're not experiencing, oh, I love you so much. Yeah, you're angry, but you don't want to do something that lasts a lifetime or lasts a very, very long time. So how do you do it? Clearly, the example I gave and the analogy with throwing up is when you don't have your eye open. Okay, your third eye open. Okay, how do you open up? And I want to remind you what I'm talking about with this third eye. It's that integration of the both parts of your brain, the feeling and the thinking part, while having awareness of what's going on in your body, and that self-awareness to be able to have those things all going on at once. Our brains are amazing things when we use the power that they have, because we can do all that at once. So you can really know that your amygdala, your feeling part, has been activated, and it's fight, flight, freeze. That's activated. The wise part of your brain, the thinking part, can think about that and no, I do not need to fight. I do not need to flee, run away, and I do not need to freeze. I have other choices. So as your body, your brain and your body are feeling those things, and as this part of your brain gets activated because there's blood, the blood flow is in there now, then you can really think, and you can make your intentions about what you want to say happen. Okay, so how? One, self-awareness of your feelings. So you got to know, you know how you're feeling. Is it fight, flight, or freeze? Number two, intentionally opening the eye, which requires that you intentionally are not reactive. That's a hard one, because it's not as satisfying in the moment for some people to just think for a minute. But in the long run, ooh, it's so much better. So you intentionally open that eye, you pause to think. Remember, this is a loved one. You're not trying to do permanent damage. And then what happens? You say what you mean to say. You say something that's from your wisdom, that includes your body and all of you and your brain. So again, you have the self-awareness of your feelings. You're intentionally opening that eye, which in this very specific case is you're allowing your wisdom part of your brain, or the thinking part of your brain, to get working again. You're pausing. You're remembering it's your loved one, even though right now you're not feeling so much love. And you say what you mean to say as a result of that. So let's review the benefits. You're in a situation and you're aware of everything that you feel, see, and hear. At the same time, you're watching yourself. So that's what you're doing in that pause. You're watching yourself, so to speak. You're aware of everything. That's what the pause is for. That's what the thinking is for. And it allows you to be less reactive. Because the reactive one is the bleh one. And that's one state of being. But the other one is, and it opens up a perspective. You can still make your points. There's nothing in here about giving in or making the other person wrong or making the other person right. You don't have to agree, but you're doing these things in a way that is that integrated part of you where you've got everything, all the things come together, and you're watching yourself and you're thinking, and you're having a good outcome. It will be a good outcome. You make your points, you listen carefully, you manage your emotions, you broaden your perspective, and you save your marriage. So, and I'm not exaggerating. When people call me up to work with me, one of the first things that they usually say is that we have problems with communication. And this is one of the problems, that when they're disagreeing, and we disagree with each other. That's just kind of what happens. As two different people, you're not the same one. You're not going to think alike all the time. So when they have disagreements, it gets ugly, mean, or they just walk away. They react to their amygdala, the feelings part, and where it's fight, flight, or freeze. They do one of those. They fight, or they freeze. And when you open that third eye, it allows you to pick none of the above. Let's not do any of those things. Let's stay here, get grounded in my whole self, and then I can think clearly and I know what to say. So that's the way to do it, and it's why to do it, and hopefully it makes sense. So if you want to get my help in doing this or any other thing in your relationship, email me. I'm going to give you my email address. Carol J. Henry, PhD, @gmail.com. CarolJHenry, PhD, @gmail.com. We can talk about your needs and whether or not I'm the one to help you. No obligation. It's free. That's number one thing. Number two, I invite you to join my Facebook group, my free Facebook group called Committed Couples Growing Together. So that's another thing you can do. I'm glad we were able to talk today, and I hope you will join me next week. And any comments that you have about what I talked about, any questions that you have, connect with me. And I'd be happy to talk with you about it. Okay. Have a good day, have a good week, and love each other well. Bye now.